Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at noon.
Happening right now, over 950 CCEC members are currently experiencing a power outage in the northwest corner of 45th and 52nd Avenue South. The cause is unknown at this time. Crews have been contacted and dispatched to work on restoring power safely and as quickly as possible. And we will update you as we receive more information. New for you at noon. A Moorhead man is facing criminal charges after documents say he has inappropriately touched a young girl multiple times. 43-year-old Roberto Garza is charged with one count of second-degree criminal sex conduct conduct. Court documents state the 12-year-old victim told investigators that Garza began assaulting her after being released from prison while staying at her grandma's house in Moorhead. The victim says Garza kissed her, rubbed her on her inner thighs, and even put his hands down her pants. If convicted, Garza faces up to 25 years in prison. Also new for you at noon, authorities are assessing the damage following a fire at the Mendak Farmers Cooperative Beet plant in Wampeton. Officials say it started around 5:30 this morning when the boiler vacuum caught on fire. 2 employees were working in the area where the fire broke out, but they were not hurt by the flames. Crews from Dwight, Wampeton, and Breckenridge rushed to the scene and put out the fire and contained it quickly. No one was injured in the fire, and the plant is back to regular operations. A garage is destroyed and a home is seriously damaged following a fire in Polk County. The Sheriff's Department says it responded to a fire call around 2:30 this morning at the 30,000 block of 340th Avenue Southeast in the Hill River Township. When authorities arrived on scene, the garage was fully engulfed in flames and the fire was spreading to the attached home. Everyone who was lives at home got out safely. Officials say they're working to figure out a cause. Got a few W's for weather today, windy and warm. Well, let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good afternoon. We're also looking at a little more cloud cover than I was hoping for today over Fargo. It's not really inhibiting temperatures at the moment, but it may help us out in regards to the red flag warning. In some areas, we are looking at eastern North Dakota specifically included in this, and it takes effect right now at the noon hour through the afternoon and into the evening here because we've got windy conditions and dry conditions. If the clouds help to inhibit temperatures a little bit this afternoon, that will keep us a little bit better off than where we would be. Looking at our wind advisory on top of that, we've got that starting up right now. And that's because we're expecting winds up to 45 miles per hour. I've been seeing some very strong winds so far this morning already and now into the afternoon. Augusta 36 in Thief River and Grand Forks 35. So a windy one out there already, and we'll continue that into the second half of the day today. Temperatures will rise into the 60s to some 70s. That wind will remain strong. These are your steady speeds in your Fargo planner, and we'll see those gusts even higher. We'll track that out for you in your hour-by-hour planner coming up.
Weather looks really, really nice. Let's go ahead and keep enjoying that. Thanks again, Lisa. Well, to have or to not have a face mask in the city of Fargo, that was a discussion last night at the commissioners' meeting. The vote was no, but it was a close vote. The vote was 3-2 with Mayor Tim Mahoney breaking the tie. One of these proposals came with a civil penalty, while the other did not. A commissioner, however, can bring up the mandate again for consideration at a future meeting, and these full details can be found on our web channel. Now, a second round of COVID exposure reports in a Detroit Lake school building in as many days. The school superintendent says in a Facebook post that state health officials confirmed several cases of the coronavirus and adult members of the Roosevelt Elementary School community. Exposure dates for last week were from September 28th to October 2nd. This means no school today at Roosevelt, and full distance learning for students and staff starts tomorrow. Close contacts of the confirmed cases have been notified and are under quarantine. So far, there are no confirmed cases among Roosevelt students. Fargo Public School students are facing yet another change, but it may not be what families were hoping for. After 2 weeks of distance learning, middle and high school students will go back to hybrid learning on October 19th under a new hybrid model where days will alternate. Elementary students will move to in-person instruction 4 days a week starting October 26th. A Fargo superintendent says the staff force considers county data statistics within the schools and guidance from health officials, but there are no set perimeters or thresholds to determine exactly what happened. It's at the discretion of the Coronavirus Task Force Committee, and as families scramble to adjust to the changes yet again. Even more changes are expected soon.
Last week, there was a significant change from the governor's office in the quarantine requirements, and that significantly impacted and changed the way that we're able to operate schools. So obviously that's going to lead to a potential decision change as well, because that made a big impact for us as a committee.
Now, for more insight into what the conversations have been surrounding the decisions of the district's task force committee, the meetings are available online. Well, Fargo's new police chief is now on the clock. 54-year-old David Zabowski was sworn in last night during the city commission meeting. He takes over for David Todd, who retired this past summer. Now, Zabowski says as he enters the department, reevaluation is going to be the critical first step, starting with one-on-one meetings with staff to address any issues and listen to any new ideas.
There's things that we need to be able to address with our officers sooner rather than later, and so the traditional methodology of maybe having an in-service once or twice a year at a certain time of the year really doesn't meet the needs of not only the department but the needs of the community.
Now, Zabowski comes to Fargo after spending 27 years with the Milwaukee Police Department. Well, more than 60% of Americans say their emergency savings will not last through the end of the year, or they're already run out of savings. That tops our look at consumer news. Now, that's according to the latest installment of Clever's COVID-19 Financial Impact Series. It's an alarming number since only 18% of Americans say they won't run out of emergency savings. If you find yourself with dwindling emergency funds or have already depleted your savings, it's important to take action now to rebuild your fund. Well, coming up at noon, the Russian man who was poisoned with a drug is talking about his experience. And weather continuing to feel nice, so no complaints here. Well, weather up next to Plan Your Day.